Let's see. So yeah, this is the last time here. Couple number five. Oh, number four. Number five. They're preaching free from all cleanness, conforms to the teaching of non-duality of all dharma's door, and is called and activities never out of order. So whichever way that Bodhisattva teach, right, they will be free from all cleanness and attachment, right, and conform to the non-duality. It's not easy, right? It's not easy in this, especially in this modern age. Whichever thing we say is one in one side and or others. But there's no way for us. It's not easy to say in the middle way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not easy in this whether you have to be black or white or in the right and the left, not in the middle. So
Yeah.
so have you watched the debate, the presidential debate last night?
I didn't catch all of it. I caught the last bit, the like last 30 minutes.
How was that?
It was interesting. Donald Trump didn't answer a single question. He just talked about whatever he wanted. And Harris got under his skin. She was intentionally like going on topics to try to get him riled up so that he would, lose his composure.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept like speaking over the moderators. And he was basically just attacking the Democratic side the whole time. He didn't really share much of his vision or idea, just here and there. Like uh, he's she looks really good next to him. Like she looks very intelligent and thoughtful and composed, and he just looks kind of a little out of control.
Yeah, we know that she's prosecutor.
Mm.
She should have that type of experience in front of the judge, right? She know where to push the button of the other party, right? The defense and right, defendants, right? That they need to talk, right? They need to recognize the mistake or their fault. So she good at that. She good with that. So that's why. So somehow, yeah, I watched that too. Yeah, so many people admire her. Even she came from uh, the moderate families, even the poor families too, right? And how she approached him at the first time she reached out and shake hand with him to say that to imply that she in equal right with him, and she's in control. She's in
Mhm.
the room. But anyway, so here the thing that I like to say is that yes, if people like Democrats, they will so delightful, right? But if they are Republican, they shake their head or even they try to sway to defend him, right? So that's why we have the two pole, either one, not both. All right, it's pretty rare for us when we talk about politics to stay in the middle way. It's pure rare, right? If they stay,
Yeah.
there's no way there for them to join either one. Even independent people, right? Independent, if they stay with independent one, so they still take side of either one. So
Mm.
my my question is that when we talk about the Bodhisattva who come down here, of course, they're teaching is free from all attachment, and they talk about non-duality. So who could listen to them then?
Mhm. Well, it would be people interested in freeing themselves from suffering and then from pursuing phenomena. So most people aren't looking like that's That's not what they think they want. Most people want to arrange phenomena in a particular way and try to get them to stay that way and enjoy the five senses, have comfort, have
Mhm,
security, and that's the goal for,
mhm.
for most people.
So, for example, in our case, let's say we approach to anyone that talk about politics, right? And we just say, okay, we just talk about the best of these two candidates, right?
Mhm.
They may walk away from us. Take that we either take side of Democrat or Republican, right?
Yeah,
We have to take side. We cannot stay in the middle.
yeah,
Even independent one, they still have to take side with either one. So my point is that it's just radical. It's just more religious. If some Bodhisattva appear here to talk with people, and most people, probably 99%, they they fall into this realm, the realm of duality, the realm of black, white, good, bad, and so forth. So how could they teach them this kind of principle in the practical sense then?
yeah. Without until someone is interested in learning, so until someone sees that someone has something to teach them, this is a very difficult concept to teach someone who's not interested. I mean, it's hard to teach someone the cardinal directions like north, south, east, west to read a map. If they don't want to learn it, like you can't teach them it. So the bodhisattvas work to develop positive affinities with people so that people like them and they want to learn from them. So
Mhm.
their roots go back further.
Yeah, but here, let me see. Let me share with you this one here. I think we talked about before too. Let's see him. The seven attitude, the seven attitude in the mindfulness practice. When
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm so surprised. You see that non-striving, non-judgmental, right? This only from Buddhist view. No tradition in no religious tradition in the world that emphasize or advocates non-judgmental approach. Or most of the time they would judge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. So the one that did design what his name? I think John Bracken. He's he understands Buddhist principle profoundly. That's why he proposed or he lists out those type of foundational mindfulness attitude here. And here people recognize this. If we don't have that judgmental attitude to other people, we make friends each with other people much easy. And here is the way that we can calm our mind. I think uh, the reason why I bring up one more time for this idea is that, yeah, somehow this is more applicable, more practical in daily life now. As soon as we let go of the judgment, good, bad, black, white, and so forth. And it's so practical in this kind of mindfulness practice. And this is one of the requirement, one of the attitudes. We can feel that with ourselves. If we don't judge our own breath, if we don't, I used to tell my student, if we don't judge our breath, whether it's come in and out, whether when we inhale, exhale, and we just accept the way that the air come in and out, we make peace with ourselves, physically and mentally. There's no need for us to use any force to force the air in or to force the air out. There's no need. That's non-striving here. That's why we will help ourselves to build up that skill, the skill of non-judgmental attitude. So I think only, not only, but I think one aspect of Buddhist tradition can be applicable or can be practical is through the mindfulness practice. And when we have that type of attitude or that type of understanding of view, much easier for us to deal with ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually through this kind of mindfulness practice with those attitude. And eventually, when we deal with other people, we don't need to judge them. We accept here, accept them, we accept who they are because we accept who we are. Yeah. So when they read, at first time when they read this kind of seven attitude, I'm so surprised that the author could compile this kind of Buddhist principle. And most of them are Buddhist principle, right? Begin in mind, right?
Mhm.
Other people know you have to use your intellectual mind to analyze things. Of course, other patient they can say about patient trust, but here, non-striving, accepting, non-judgmental, begin the mind are the core principle of Buddhism that all religion they may not have that. And get go back to the question I get asked. Yes, for the Bodhisattva who appear on this earth to talk about non-duality, it's impossible for them to talk. But in the aspect of meditation, it's so applicable. It's so practical. If we want to have a peace of mind, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and so far, I think this is what is the striking one, the striking principle that people can recognize the beauty of Buddhism there.
Yeah, and it does go along with the non-duality because it seems like when we're pursuing duality, we're practicing the opposite of one of these. So we're holding on, or we're judging, or we're being impatient, all of those. So it's like, yeah, it's the a mind that's not holding on to duality is exhibiting these seven traits.
Mhm. Yeah, because most of the tradition, whether in the East and the West, judgmental always come about. You need to judge our people. If they, yeah, if they follow your path, yes, they're good people, they're friends, otherwise they're enemy or they're stranger and so forth. But in Buddhist view, no, that's not the case. Yeah, so I found that this one is so beautiful, it's so wonderful that whether we are Buddhist or not, whether we walk on the path of Bodhisattva or not, that speak out well here, right? Old Dumbledore and his call and activities never out orders. That's mean our mind is more balanced, right? We more stable, our mind more stable, um yeah, our mind more at peace. And that's quite different from politics because they set that sided and you have to go either one, not both, or you can say cannot stay in middle way. That's why people when they get into politics, right, it's easy for them to have anger because if all the people go against the will like Donald Trump, they'll be angry or either other side too, right? Because that's not what they want to, because they want to judge people based on their views, right? Either you good or bad, either you go that side with Republican Democrat, you cannot stay in middle. That's the problem. But I think it's this kind of principle is so wonderful. So, yeah, that tied up with our mind training there. And if I used to tell my student, if they don't implement one of these attitude, there's no way for them to calm their mind. Because as much they still have judgmental attitude toward their own breath, their own thought, their own body, their own mind, and so forth, they cannot stay still, right? Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I commonly see the reason people stop meditating is because they think they're no good at it. So they're trying to produce a certain state and they can't produce that certain state the first few times they try. And so they just are like, I'm no good at meditation, I shouldn't do it.
Mhm.
That's I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, and in meditation, if we know that there's no good and bad, just the whether we can say improve, or we can say that we uh, we have a peace of mind or not. That's more standardized for our practice, right?
Hmm.
And in psychology, what they call about the let's see here. Oh, self-esteem. So they say that, I mean, talk about the psychologist. They say that, okay, now if we want to have high self-esteem, we need to boost up the volume of positive thought in our mind and delete the negative thought in our mind. You see any problem with that? Boost up the volume of part
Yeah,
and delete or suppress, right? In other way, suppress
yeah.
the negative thought. Any problem with that?
It's just the problem with trying to work with the thoughts like that is that it's not like a like it can be like a garden, but with our normal active thinking mind, we can't think about not having bad thoughts. Because then we're gonna like start thinking of the bad thoughts that we're not gonna have. Um, in meditation, when we notice we're distracted and it's on, say it's a negative thought, well, then it's like the attention that negative thought had, we take it and we give it to our focus, our breathing. And then we can cultivate that reorientation towards mindfulness. And I think it's more of, we can acknowledge the negative thoughts and we can let them be, and then in letting them be, find a way back to center, back to neutral, so we're free again, instead of being sort of bound on a train going with that thought.
So if we one thing we try to boost up the positive thought and try to suppress or try to delete the negative one, it's the ongoing fighting, internal fighting between good and bad, positive and negative, until they exhausted, until they be crazy. And I sometimes I got a phone call from some American people that they are all their own way fighting in their own mind. That they crazy. It's not easy, especially for the soldier, or the one who came back from battlefield, right?
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, yeah.
they have the kind of notion. Either you side with me, or you are my enemy. I will kill you.
Mm.
That's why they try to protect themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually too. That's why it's all ongoing fighting. That's a problem. But here, that's why I usually tell my students, you just accept who you are, whether good or bad, right? And of course, they here I don't know whether you know. I think we talk about self-compassion. I think we talked about that before too, right? You right. So the self-compassion has three aspects: self-kindness, uh, connectedness, or another side, another way is common humanity, self-kindness, mindfulness. So here is combination of three elements. So self-kindness is like the lady who designed this type of who proposed this type of compassion. She attends some of Buddhist meditation. I think she drew out those digital information and proposes this principle approaches from Buddhist principle, common humanity. That the mass. I mean that we have both. goodness and badness, good side and bad side. We have to accept who we are with the mindfulness, with the self-kindness, so good we be kind to ourselves. And some of my students, they even they can read, but somehow sometimes it's go beyond their thinking because it's pure brand new for them. It's brand new concept for them. They're quite different from West, right? You have to. That's why if they are Catholic, they're not supposed to go to Christian church, and vice versa. If they're Protestant, they're not supposed to go to the Catholic church. The black and white that ingrained in their mind already. And in the West, that's what happened. But in the East, we ingrained with, oh yeah, that's just that's a personal preference. If you want to go follow Buddhism, that's personal reference. Or if you want to go with Taoism, that's their choice. Or they can be both. That's why it stopped from the mind. So I think go back to our points here. Yeah, I yeah, I just mentioned recently that so probably he's one of the Bodhisattva that design this kind of principle in the practical sense, in the understandable ways for uh, mm, for people in the West to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we read here, there's no way, there's no way for even for us as men how we talk about non-duality to other people. It's so impractical. It's so up their mind in every aspect of life, right? In politics, in economies, in social justice, whichever way, right? Anyway, yeah. So mm, okay. So let's move on to the please.
The nominal unity reveals a vast variety of undifferentiated phenomena. This is called skillful activity to appear at will. Um, so yeah, I've heard of the distinction between phenomena and nomina. So phenomena are, I think they're the external events, and nomina, I think they're the internal events. I can't remember exactly what nomina are versus phenomena.
I cannot remember. Let me type to phenomena versus phenomena. Okay. Yeah. Let me share what you have. Phenomena are objects as they appear, when nominals are objects as they are in themselves.
Ah, yes. Okay. So
Okay, visit.
like, mhm.
Okay. Mm. God, cosmos. So,
Oh, I would have taken that definition differently. I would have said like we can see what we call a table, but what we see is not its whole reality. Like what we see an aspect of it, but we don't see the infrared light radiating off of it. We don't see the electrons when we look at it or the atoms. Like, so we see an appearance of it, but then the reality of it would be that concept is the I thought was what they meant there.
okay. So let's say for we talk about phenomena, it just mean weather, right? Let's say we have the raining, right? The raining day, right? We have the rain, and the nominal just mean is that what happened with cosmos? That's what happened with the universe. That's what happened with
I
mm,
think Buddha nature would be the ultimate nomina because that is the phenomena are the presumed things themselves that make up reality. So
mm,
the ultimate nomina would be the Buddha nature.
okay. Our spring things themselves. Oh, okay. the things that we experience, the phenomena, right? The rain, the fog, the thunders. Elements that presume things themselves, constant reality. Yeah.
And they're presumed because we can't directly see the nomina. We just see the appearance of the nomina.
Yeah, it's here. Observation. Would be, okay. Well, it's pretty complicated then.
That one's, yeah, not as straightforward.
Mhm. Mm. So, we need to clear up this.
Oh, here we go. This one looks good. The brain with the image up top.
This one,
Yeah, that one looks like it might have it.
duality. As no duality, things in itself. As no duality. Phenomena is the one that the mind impose. Sorry. So the mind impose its characteristics on the data of experience.
So like if like we see rain, then we have an idea of rain.
Mm-hmm.
And is it good? Is it bad? It's a bad day now because it's raining. And so we kind of like we experience it through our filter.
Mm. Okay, let's have another one here. Phenomena is you, me. Still confused.
That one doesn't help at all.
Yeah, but I think we can make simple one to understand. Right, let's see here. Oh, it is, I think it's one is from the concept in our mind, right? One is reality, right?
Yeah. But I think all we experience are phenomena, unless we like enlightenment is the experience of the one true nomina. Or nomina, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to our discussion. So the number unity. This mean nominal unity.
Yeah. So that sounds like they're referring to the Buddha nature.
Yeah.
So the nominal unity reveals a vast variety of undifferentiated phenomena, so that all of the phenomena that we witness in their reality are undifferentiated. Like the nomina of it is unified. And so it's just in the appearance that we can see differentiation. But in the actual reality of it on the nominal level, then that it's unified.
That mean the Bodhisattva live in that type of non-duality, right?
Yeah, when it says this is called skillful activity to appear at will, and this sounds like it's involved in the manifestation bodies.
But at the same time, they stay in that state of mind, non-duality state of mind. Is that right? Non-dual state of mind.
Oh
Because
yes, so they can see all phenomena as non-dual, that they're actually, yes.
mhm. And that's why they don't see good or bad people, right? They don't see black and white, but they see in the whole picture of duality, right?
Mhm.
Spectrum of duality. Let's say, yeah, of course, in the non-judgmental views approach too, right? Let's say if we step out of the boundary or the side of Democrat or Republican, right? So we see these two candidates when they have this kind of debate, they keep playing around with the games to find the weak points so that they can power upon each other, right?
Hmm.
It's just the game, back and forth, the fighting games, right? Uh,
Yeah.
in Buddhist view, if the winner, yes, they're happy. If the loser, they're sad. In the Buddhist view, yes, as the observer, they still play around with the games. They still jump around with their the suffering. You can say that. But of course, for the winner, let's say if the Democrats last night they so admire of Kamala, but if they are Republican, they may feel sad, feel bad about Trump. So my point is that they might swing back and forth between good and bad, right? Sadness and happiness. They still revolve in that games, in that cycle. And what Bodhisattva, they step out of that cycle. Right? They don't judge whether this side or that side. They see the beauties of both sides. And they understand why they have this kind of debate, why they try to um, put down each other, right? They try to find the weakness from all the parties so that they can be the best, right? That based upon their judgment. But Bodhisattva help all the people, help everyone. That's why um, mm, when I was slave person, yes, I love politics, but from the time that I think I told you before too, right? That from the time that I became monks, so I like to step out of that because as long as we step into that type of politics, we still uh, run around chasing like the dog chasing it tail around around with good, bad, like dislike, sadness, happiness, and so forth. It's non-stop. There's no ending.
Yeah, it presents a little bit of a pickle because like for a democracy, people have to be involved.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like, what if there's not a candidate I really want to vote for? It's like, and if, but or on like if everybody, like say every United States citizen felt that way, I haven't really like I wonder like what would happen. Like no, but everybody felt like I don't want to. I'm not going to choose a side. I'm not going to vote. It's unlikely, right? That's not going to happen. But if everybody did, we would need a new form of governance. We would have to have a totally different form. So maybe it wouldn't be a problem if that happened. It would just be things would change because people had changed. And
Mhm.
so most people can't do that even if they want to. So those of us who can do it, I think the first argument against that comes up is this argument about, okay, democracy only works if everybody is involved and everybody says their part. But what we really see clearly is that, well, no, democracy has been purchased. Like companies basically purchase votes, and candidates get money from companies by doing what the companies want them to do. Like that's pretty much all politicians. So the participation from people with voting, it's kind of, if the people that can stay neutral do stay neutral and don't vote, it's probably not going to change the outcome that much because the outcome's really being driven by the money mostly. So, it's something I've kind of on the corner of my mind thought about, but haven't really kind of put it in front of me and really considered it. Yeah.
So here, okay, I like to share with you this. So during our special celebration, right? We turn on the the outdoors videos, the videos for American flags, right? I mean to pray for American flags, right? American anthem and Vietnamese anthems and Buddhist anthem, right? You remember that, right? At the beginning, at beginning of the at at the beginning of the celebration,
For the autumn festival.
everything. No, no,
Everything. Oh, yeah, we do the Pledge of Allegiance,
preparation for
national anthem. I mean the national anthem, sorry.
national anthem, Vietnamese anthems, and Buddhist anthem, right?
Hmm.
But here the catch I'd like to share with you. The Vietnamese anthem is that we use the one that before 1975, not now.
Hmm.
Here, here's the catch too. Probably because you're not Vietnamese, so you don't know much about this. For me, somehow it's still even now the war has been finished by I mean 1975. That's mean it's almost
50 years.
58, 59. No, no, it's 48, right? 48, 49 years, right? Almost 50 years. Is that right? Yeah, almost
Yeah.
75, 75
It'd be 49 from 75 to 24. So,
years already.
hmm.
And of course, the older generation, they still stick with that, especially the one that have so much hatred toward the Communist party or the Communist government in Vietnam. There's no way for them. And even in my conscience too, there's no way for me to pledge religion of Vietnamese communist anthems because we have gone through all kind of hardship. We have those all kind of bad impression, a bad experience with those communist people in Vietnam. You understand that? There's
Hmm.
no way for them to accept that. Let me tell you a funny story. Um, there's a Buddhist monk, I think more than 10 years ago. So came from Vietnam and he stayed at temple in Tucson, Oklahoma. So the Buddhists say, some of Buddhists came to talk to him and say, somehow now somehow the Vietnamese Buddhist people, they don't come to temple much. So is there any way for us to encourage them to come? So they say, well, it's easy. Why don't we put the Vietnamese communist flags in front of the temple? And what happened then? It's turned everything up and they kicked him out because the temple is for the Vietnamese Buddhist communities. Not he didn't build up from the scratch by himself. So they just invite him to come to do the service or to lead them. But because of that, they reject him right away. And within, I don't know, within a month, he left that temple.
Wow.
You see how serious is that for the Vietnamese people in this country? Because
Yeah.
them due to the hardship, due to oppression by the Vietnamese communist regime in Vietnam. So there's no way for them to accept that flags. Not talk about their current anthems. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
So, but for me, when they step out of the realm of politics, it doesn't matter because war is war. Because in the past they have that kind of even now, right? They have that kind of conflict among Vietnamese people with those kind of politics, whether they follow capitalism or communism. They're just people. And as a religious leader, as a Buddhist monk, I need to step out of that kind of fighting. And some, especially in Houston, people I know, some of them came from the high ranking one to visit my temple, but they didn't say explicitly. But I welcome every one of them, whether they they live here, whether they still follow or they still pledge to the Vietnamese autumns before 1975, or whether they're communists, doesn't matter. That's just their belief. This is their concept. This is their path. That's okay. Whoever come that need our help, we will provide the help spiritually. Um, yes, so I used to tell them that if we step out that kind of discrimination, that kind of judgment, we we're free from anger, we're free
Hmm.
from, from resentment, because many of them they still have that kind of resentment with those kind of experience they have with the Vietnamese communist regime in the past. But the past is past. Now it's much better. They still have the kind of oppression, but in different ways. But still, there's a Vietnamese communist regime there. So anyway, so my point I want to say today is that in reality it's not easy. But for me, I need to step out of that type of fighting, so that at least in my mind, there's no enemy in my mind.
Hmm.
You know, in even in my intermediate families during the war, some people in this side or that side, communist or the south side government, both sides we lost our relatives, our loved one relatives. So who blamed? Who took the blame then? In Buddhist view, it's ignorance. That's stupidity. That they it just we get because of some type of philosophy or some type of political uh, mm, philosophy, we kill each other in the names of communism, or in the name of capitalism. We just harm each other. It's nonsense in my view up to now. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, but not easy. I cannot speak. Usually, sometime I speak or explain to the people. I mean, the Buddhist people who live here so many years already. But I try to explain in the indirect way. Otherwise, they wouldn't accept that. Anyway, so
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I think you're pretty good at that. I think
you
you're
could not
pretty
you could
good at
not
directly sharing. Yeah.
you could not recognize that, right? Have you
Yeah.
rec have you recognized the difference between the Vietnamese people who pledged uh, mm, the belief, who pledged themselves with the Vietnamese flags before 1975, and the one that pledged their
Mm-mm.
views to the Vietnamese communist regime now. Have you seen that one? Have you recognized that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because you don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not my it's not my world in that sense. I
recognize that.
uh
Yeah. Okay, so let's stop here today then. It's been interesting, and yeah, I think without Buddhism, somehow it's not easy for me in my personal experience. It's not easy to process. It's not easy to accept other people differences. Nothing about politics. No, we don't need to talk about politics or anything out there, right? When we deal with other people, with the race, the politics, the wealth, the status, and so forth. Mm. Okay, so let's stop here today.
okay.
So see you then.
Bye.
And you think possibly you may come with your